You know what Elsa and Sub-Zero have in common? They could freeze people. So, today's video, I'm going to show you how to make a Sub-Zero style freeze attack. And I cannot remember who requested this tutorial. It was a comment many months ago, and I know they wanted this and the spear, but I forgot who did it, and it's hard to find the comment. So, let's get right into it. We'll start with Kung Fu Man. And I just want to give credit to Binho for his Sub-Zero character. I used some sprites from it for sake of making this one, and I used some reference codes for his stuff too. But yeah, shout out to Binho for his amazing Mortal Kombat characters and very modern style gameplay he gave them. So now onto Kung Fu Man. For the sake of this example, I just relegated his command to pressing the Z button, which I have here. Here we go. The Sub-Zero freezing move, right? So I'm using state 2000 and command is Z. I've just simplified it by using this just to get it to work. When you guys code this, make it as complicated or whatever as you want. Going to the states, I have the freeze. It's as simple as shooting a projectile. Your state def stuff, which is Kung Fu Man doing a swipe, your helper with the ice ball, and change state to take him out of it. The more complicated part of this is the helper. So going to state 2010, we have the ice ball. We don't want it to get hit by regular attacks or anything, so we're going to put not hit by. And we're going to include 2 hit defs. This is what I copied from Binho. Basically, the first hit def, it's gonna trigger if the enemy is not frozen and they are not recovering from a freeze or a double freeze. So this is what will make you hit. And instead of using like a not time like I normally do for a trigger for a hit def, I copied this from Binho also. Anim elem greater than equal to 1. Because I think when you use not time, it happens instantaneously and it skips this one and it reads this one because this has higher priority. Even though these triggers are limiting it, it just ignores this hit def. So by using these 2 hit defs, we can get the desired effect. So the first hit def will put them into the freeze state. I use 10,000. You can use whatever state numbers you want to use. The second hit def is if he's already frozen in the frozen state and you hit them, it's going to send them into 10,010. This will make him recover out of that state and then double freeze to the player. And then we have a change state. If it hits, goes to the hit spark. If it's guarded, goes to the hit spark. If it off screen, goes to the hit spark where the spark hits like the wall or whatever. And these are just like safe kill change states for the helper. And then we have the ice hit spark, which it's super simple. Play the animation of the hit spark and then destroy itself. That's it. Now these are the custom states for player 2. 10,000. I don't want to change the type of attack the players in. So if they're standing or attacking or crouching or whatever, like I kept this as U. I changed move type to I because now while they're frozen they are idle, so their hit boxes and stuff will become inactive. No physics. I'm going to stop them in their tracks with a velocity of 0, 0. They have no control and their sprite priority is behind everything. Well, not everything, but behind the player. Now I'm going to use a change anim. Since since player 2 is in a custom state, the change anim will read player 2's animation. If I use change anim 2, this will not work very well. It'll make player 2 read player 1's animation, which it won't work unless you're doing a full game or something, but it's not necessary. So what I'm telling it to do is to change anim at the trigger of 1, so it's constantly changing to this animation. Because what can happen if you don't have it as trigger 1, it could play an animation out, and then it'll play it again, and it'll play it again. So the animation will loop while the person's frozen, but when you're frozen, you're not supposed to move. So by keeping the trigger as 1, we're keeping it on that 1 frame. Next, the animation we're changing to is the anim, which is the current animation player 2 is in, and then the element is going to be anim element no 0, anim animation number 0. That means it's going to read whatever the current animation element is. I don't know the technical logic behind it, but I know this code pretty much only reads what it currently is. So this will keep the animation the same. And then position freeze. This will freeze player 2 wherever they are. Instead of me trying to post set up or down or left and right, this will keep them exactly where they are, which is what you want. And then the PAL effect code to turn them blue, because you got to have that. In Eichmann Go, you can use in the search special atom freeze, which is a little bit more superior to this, whereas this is me, forcing it to keep in animation, whereas this will just tell it to not play at all. Atom freeze. And then a self state. You need a self state to recover player 2. So this if else is basically if the enemy is not in the air, meaning if they're standing or crouching, go to state 5000. Or else, if they're in the air, state type equals A in the air, play 50-50. 50-50 is when you're hit and you're falling from the sky. So if both players jump and one person hits the other one hard, they'll fall down on enter 50-50 until they hit the ground. If all else fails, go to stand animation. And then you give them back control. If you don't give them control in a self state, the player will just stand there. So that's the first freeze state. And then this is the unfreeze state. This is double freeze. It's mostly the same. And I just take out the blue and I take out the freeze and all that stuff and just send them back to their own state with a time of 1. So they're in this state for like a second, and then they go back to their own states. Now the reverse freeze, the double freeze. If you freeze a target that's already frozen, it backfires and Sub-Zero gets frozen. This is that state. It's essentially the same as this state, except I made it its own number, so this way I could make it different if I wanted to. You could probably use 10,000, but this is what I did. I actually don't even think I used this state in this example. Let's see. So to also make it to go into reversing freeze, right? I have a change state here. I did not even use that state 2030. That's funny. Yeah, in your -3s. Now, I don't know if I did this correctly. It looks correct to me, and it's working as intended, but I don't know if this is the right way to do it. But that's the joy of coding in Mugen. There's like many ways to do things. So I have it if the enemy is in the state number 10,010 to change Kung Fu Man's state to 10,000. So he'll enter a freeze state. So that's how I have it backfiring. So Kung Fu Man throws an ice ball. Ice ball hits you. You go to freeze state. He shoots another one. You go to the unfreeze state, and then he goes to the freeze state. And this controls him going to the freeze state. Now, for a demonstration, let's go. Okay, so freeze ball. He's frozen. He cannot move once in the air. And he falls. Once while crouching. Okay, so now if I freeze him and I freeze him again, it backfires. Now I can't move. See? And that's pretty much how you want it to work, really. Like everything else with helpers, you'd have to set up so... Oh god, that pause is long. You might have to mess with the hit depth to get the desired result. That's kind of funny, actually. Huh. Yeah, like every helper, you need to properly configure the hit override so it doesn't pass through each other like that, so it splashes against each other. Or you could not. It's however you artistically want it to be. But that's it. Took me a while to code this one, but it's actually pretty simple. I know I have to code the spear also, which I'll do eventually. And then probably the greatest community comment tutorial guide thing is going to be fatalities. And that's going to be a doozy. I'm trying to do that tutorial with help from my buddy Ultra Fatal. But waiting on him. He's got some stuff going on. Yeah, I guess, you know the deal, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video. If you could donate to the Buy Me a Coffee, I'll gladly take a coffee. A nice caramelized coffee is always wonderful and refreshing in this harsh, hot weather. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.